Rick Sanchez, the genius yet reckless scientist from Rick and Morty, is known for his wild adventures across the multiverse. While his intelligence and resourcefulness are unmatched, his actions often cross moral, ethical, and legal boundaries. If Rick were brought to justice for his myriad of crimes, he would face a litany of serious charges. Let's watch the various offenses Rick would be charged with and their potential legal repercussions. Murder. Rick Sanchez's actions often lead to numerous intentional and unintentional deaths, placing him squarely in the realm of serious criminal charges if brought to justice. His calculated and premeditated killings, driven by his own agenda or sheer indifference to life, would result in multiple counts of first-degree murder. Rick's reckless experiments and dangerous escapades frequently cause collateral damage, leading to charges of involuntary manslaughter. Moreover, his involvement in lethal conflicts and violent confrontations could also lead to second-degree murder charges. If held accountable, Rick would face severe legal consequences, including long-term imprisonment or even the death penalty, reflecting the gravity and frequency of his deadly actions. Kidnapping. Rick Sanchez's numerous adventures often involve abducting individuals, including his own family members, and subjecting them to perilous and unauthorized journeys across the multiverse. These actions, conducted without the consent of those involved and often involving coercion or force, constitute serious kidnapping offenses. Whether it's taking Morty on dangerous missions or detaining other beings for his experiments, Rick's disregard for personal autonomy and safety would lead to multiple charges of kidnapping. If brought to justice, Rick would face severe penalties, including long-term imprisonment, highlighting the gravity of forcibly detaining and endangering individuals against their will. Endangerment. Rick Sanchez's reckless behavior and dangerous scientific experiments frequently put others, especially his grandson Morty, in life-threatening situations. By involving Morty and others in perilous adventures without adequate precautions or regard for their safety, Rick's actions would constitute severe child endangerment and reckless endangerment charges. These activities often expose his companions to extreme danger, physical harm, and psychological trauma. If held accountable, Rick would face significant legal consequences, including fines and imprisonment, for repeatedly placing individuals in hazardous conditions. These charges underscored the serious risks and ethical violations inherent in Rick's reckless disregard for the well-being of those around him. Terrorism. Rick Sanchez's actions often involve large-scale destruction and instilling fear across different planets and dimensions. Actions that would be classified as terrorism, whether it's blowing up entire facilities, creating deadly weapons, or engaging in catastrophic battles with intergalactic governments. Rick's behavior frequently threatens the safety and stability of entire civilizations. These acts of mass destruction and intentional chaos are aimed at achieving his goals, regardless of the collateral damage. If charged with terrorism, Rick would face some of the most severe legal penalties, including life imprisonment or even the death penalty, reflecting the grave impact of his actions on public safety and intergalactic peace. Destruction of property. Rick Sanchez's adventures are notorious for causing extensive property damage, whether it's through his scientific experiments gone awry, battles with interdimensional beings, or reckless use of advanced technology. His actions often result in the destruction of homes, buildings, and infrastructure, leading to significant financial loss and disruption. These acts of vandalism and property destruction would lead to numerous charges, each reflecting the severity of the damage caused. If brought to justice, Rick would face substantial fines and potential imprisonment, highlighting the serious consequences of his disregard for property and the stability of the environments he disrupts. Illegal use of weapons. Rick Sanchez's vast arsenal includes advanced, often highly dangerous weaponry, ranging from laser guns and explosives to dimension-altering devices. He frequently uses these weapons without any legal authorization, deploying them in both personal conflicts and large-scale confrontations. This reckless use of illegal and unregulated weaponry poses significant risks to public safety and violates numerous laws governing the possession and use of such devices. If charged, Rick would face severe penalties, including substantial fines and long-term imprisonment, for his unauthorized use of weapons. These charges underscore the dangerous implications of wielding advanced technology without oversight or accountability. Animal cruelty. Rick Sanchez's scientific experiments and interdimensional adventures often involve the mistreatment and exploitation of various alien species and sentient beings. His disregard for the well-being of these creatures, whether using them as test subjects or subjecting them to inhumane conditions, constitutes animal cruelty. Rick's actions reflect a blatant lack of empathy and ethical consideration for the lives he impacts. If brought to justice, Rick would face significant legal consequences, including fines and imprisonment for his cruel treatment of sentient beings. These charges highlight the moral and legal obligations to treat all creatures, regardless of their origin, with respect and humanity. Fraud. Rick Sanchez frequently engages in deceptive practices, including identity theft, forgery, and manipulating situations for personal gain. Whether he's creating fake identities to infiltrate organizations, forging documents to access restricted areas, or deceiving others for financial benefits, his actions constitute serious fraud. These acts of deception not only undermine trust, but also cause significant harm to individuals and institutions. If brought to justice, Rick would face substantial penalties for fraud, including hefty fines and potential imprisonment. These charges emphasize the importance of integrity and the legal ramifications of engaging in fraudulent activities. Breaking and entering. Rick Sanchez's escapades often involve entering secure facilities, private properties, and restricted areas without permission. His tendency to break into places, whether to steal technology, gather information, or simply satisfy his curiosity, constitutes breaking and entering. These unauthorized intrusions violate property laws and security protocols, leading to significant breaches of privacy and safety. If charged with breaking and entering, Rick would face serious legal repercussions, including fines and potential imprisonment. These charges highlight the importance of respecting property boundaries and the legal consequences of unlawful entry, regardless of the perceived necessity or curiosity driving such actions. Trespassing. Rick Sanchez's adventures frequently lead him to enter private properties and restricted areas without authorization, constituting trespassing. Whether he's exploring new dimensions, infiltrating alien planets, or accessing confidential facilities, Rick's disregard for property boundaries is evident. These actions not only violate the privacy and security of the property owners, but also pose significant risks to those involved. If brought to justice, Rick would face charges of trespassing, resulting in fines and potential legal action. These charges emphasize the importance of respecting boundaries and the legal implications of entering restricted areas without permission. Conspiracy. Rick Sanchez often collaborates with various individuals and entities to plan and execute illegal activities, ranging from elaborate heists to subverting intergalactic governments. These coordinated efforts involve meticulous planning and a clear intent to commit crimes, which constitute conspiracy. By working with others to achieve unlawful objectives, Rick engages in actions that demonstrate a blatant disregard for legal and ethical standards. That's all for today's video. If you found this video of Rick Sanchez's potential legal charges intriguing, don't forget to like and subscribe for more thought-provoking content.